At this decisive moment in human history, Father Michel Rodrigue once again spoke in an extraordinary way through the Crux channel, in a live broadcast conducted by his spokesperson Xavier Errol alongside Monique. The focus of this intervention was the impressive figure of Marie-Julie Jeheni, the French mystic marked by the stigmata who received prophetic revelations considered by many to be deeply connected to the present time. However, Father Michel did not limit himself to speaking only about her. He also answered numerous questions sent by French-speaking faithful. His answers brought a firm serenity and spiritual clarity, capable of illuminating the hearts of those seeking to understand the difficult events that are approaching. His words touched on essential points of the Christian faith and the spiritual preparation necessary to overcome the trials that may arise both in the present and in the future. If these messages speak to your heart and awaken in you the desire to remain vigilant in faith, help spread this light to others. A simple gesture of support can allow more souls to access these reflections and find hope. Even before the interview began, there was a special moment of joy and spiritual communion ensued when Xavier mentioned the work of a French channel dedicated to faithfully transmitting Father Michel's teachings. He also recalled that many people constantly pray for him, a gesture received with profound gratitude. At that moment, the priest decided to entrust the entire encounter to the Holy Spirit, intensely recalling that this third person of the Holy Trinity is often forgotten in our prayers and even in our daily attitudes. However, the Holy Spirit remains ever present because it is the very Spirit of Jesus who was sent into the world. He is the living breath of love that unites the Father and the Son, and he is also the one who dwells in the hearts of the faithful, transforming each soul into a dwelling place of God. Therefore, Father Michel recalled a grand truth that often goes unnoticed. Each person who lives in grace becomes a temple of the Holy Spirit, a place where God desires to dwell. To invoke this presence in difficult times, he invited everyone to raise together a simple but powerful supplication, asking that the Holy Spirit come to dwell within us and renew our strength. At the heart of the message, the priest spoke with great enthusiasm about Marie-Julie Jeheni, explaining, according to him, her visions and revelations seem to point directly to our time. This mystic received a very rare grace called the grace of the Son, which in reality manifests itself as a profound action of the Holy Spirit, presenting itself to her in a way comprehensible to her soul. Through this grace, she could contemplate what the Spirit showed her and understand the messages transmitted to her. The priest further explained that the Holy Spirit does not speak as we speak with human words. The Father can speak, Jesus can speak, but the Spirit communicates primarily through visions that reveal forms, details, and an inner understanding of divine truth. He grants spiritual intelligence to understand what comes from God, and throughout history only a few saints have received similar experiences. Then the priest offered a very interesting explanation of how prophetic visions work. When a prophet contemplates a vision before him, it is often something that has already occurred in history. When the voice of God resonates within the soul and the vision happens within the heart, we are before the gift of God that transcends human time. But when the voice seems to come from behind and the prophet needs to turn inward, it is a different story. To contemplate what God shows her, then it is something that is yet to happen, that is, a future event. With great conviction, he insisted that the messages received by Marie-Julie were not intended only for France but also for the whole world. According to him, the Lord inspired this mystic to transmit a warning to the French people with the aim of protecting their children from the difficult times to come. Therefore, he affirms that it is essential that people know these teachings, which were compiled in a book prepared by Xavier Errol. When speaking about preparing for the future, Father Michel went into very practical details, and his words caught the attention of many listeners when he warned that those who live in large cities like Paris should not wait until the last moment to leave if circumstances become chaotic, as roads may become blocked and crowds will try to flee at the same time. Therefore, he suggested something simple but symbolic, such as owning a bicycle to be able to get around if necessary. This advice reveals how he seeks to unite the spiritual dimension with concrete attitudes of daily life. He explained that the revelations attributed to Marie-Julie contain extremely detailed indications about places of refuge and even natural remedies for times of crisis. According to him, all this information is gathered in that book, which even includes geographical maps and routes that could guide people in emergency situations. During the broadcast, many questions came from the faithful, and one of them concerned the new Pope, Leo XIV. Father Michel responded reflectively, recalling that if he were not mistaken, the Pope was born on September 14th, the date on which the Church celebrates the feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross. He preferred not to draw hasty conclusions, but hinted that perhaps this pontiff might be linked to important signs that are yet to manifest. He stated that he believes the so-called illumination of consciences will be a sign from heaven linked to the words of Christ in chapter 24 of the Gospel of Matthew, and that for him this event is deeply related to the symbol of the glorious cross. According to his interpretation, this Pope could be present precisely during the period in which this sign will manifest. When questioned about the sequence of future events, including the Antichrist and the so-called Great Event, he was also asked about the sequence of future events, including the Antichrist and the so-called Great Event. The monarch responded firmly that the Antichrist will appear first and that his manifestation will occur after the enlightenment of consciences. According to him, at this moment the Antichrist remains hidden. The enlightenment of consciences will bring approximately 40 days of opportunity for each person to recognize their sins, return to God, seek confession with a priest, or receive baptism if they have not yet been baptized. He also described that before this great warning, the world may experience conflicts, wars, epidemics, famine, earthquakes, and intense climatic phenomena because all creation responds to the laws established by God. Regarding the warning, he stated that he had already mentioned 3 important points. First, that this event seems to be closer in terms of months than years. Second, that we must carefully observe what happens within the Church. And third, that we must pay attention to the messages related to Garabandal. He recalled that an initial warning linked to these messages dates back to May, and that there was another reference that may have been renewed months later, but insisted that not many months passed before signs began to appear within the Church itself when one pope died and another was elected. Therefore, he advises vigilance and prayer, carefully observing events. Regarding the great monarch, he stated that he believes this person already exists and does not live in France, although he has a deep love for it. According to him, at the time determined by God, this man will receive all the necessary spiritual light when the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit call him to fulfill the mission for which he was prepared. At the end of the reflection, the priest also recalled a profound theological question asked by a faithful about the sin against the Holy Spirit and answered by reminding them that Christ offered salvation to the whole world through his sacrifice on the cross and his glorious resurrection, which opened for humanity the way back to the Father. My beloved children, I come to you with a heart full of love and also of deep concern, because many of you have observed the events of the world and have felt in your hearts that times are becoming difficult. The year 2016 has become, for many peoples, a time marked by conflicts, tensions, and wars arising in various parts of the earth. Peoples rise up against peoples, nations live in unrest, and the hearts of many men have been filled with fear and uncertainty in the face of all that they see happening. I, your mother, observe every tear that falls, every family that suffers, every child who is lost on the path of violence, greed, and division. And therefore I tell you, my children, that these events do not arise without reason. They are also signs of a world that has turned away from true love, a world that has forgotten God and that has allowed pride, ambition, and selfishness to govern many hearts. How many times, my children, has heaven tried to call humanity back to the path of peace? How many times have I spoken to you in different places on earth, calling you to conversion, to prayer, and to a sincere return to God? Many have heard, but many have also ignored this call, and therefore the signs I announced have begun little by little to manifest before your eyes. When I tell you that the signs of the Queen of humanity have been fulfilled, I do not speak to generate fear in your hearts, but to awaken your souls. A mother does not speak to frighten her children, but to warn them before the danger becomes even greater. I call you to look at the world with spiritual eyes and understand that humanity is going through a time of trial and decision. See, my children, how violence grows, how division spreads among nations, how many hearts have become hard and cold. Man has sought power, wealth, and dominion, but has forgotten to seek the peace that comes from God. And when the heart turns away from the divine light, darkness finds space to act. Even so, my children, do not think that you are abandoned. Heaven never abandons those who seek the truth. In the midst of this turbulent world, there are still many souls who pray, who believe, who remain steadfast in faith. These souls are like small lights lit in the darkness of the world. Therefore, I tell you tenderly, do not allow fear to dominate your hearts. Instead, strengthen your faith. Draw near to God with sincerity. Seek to live in love, humility, and charity. A single soul living in God's grace can bring light to many who are lost. My children, look to your homes. Begin there the transformation that the world so desperately needs. May your homes be places of prayer, peace, and reconciliation. May forgiveness, respect, and true love exist within your families. When a family lives in the presence of God, it becomes a refuge of light amidst the chaos of the world. Always remember that a great spiritual battle is taking place in the heart of humanity. It is not merely a battle between nations or peoples, but a battle between light and darkness within each soul. And each of you is called to choose which path you wish to follow. I call you, my children, to remain steadfast on the path of faith. Even when the world seems confused and full of conflict, do not forget that God continues to guide the history of humanity. Nothing escapes the Father's eyes, and every step taken in the direction of good has immense value before heaven. Remain vigilant, but also full of hope. God's love is stronger than any war, stronger than any evil that exists in the human heart. And those who remain faithful will never walk alone. For I, your mother, continue to walk beside each of you, interceding and guiding your steps closer to the eternal light. The year 2016 has been observed by many as a time when conflicts and wars have arisen in various parts of the world. And in the face of this, many hearts have been filled with unease. Peoples live in tension, nations are divided, and many wonder why so much pain and turmoil has arisen among men. I tell you, my children, that when humanity turns away from the love of God, the world begins to feel the consequences of this estrangement. The human heart, when it ceases to seek divine light, becomes vulnerable to the darkness of pride, ambition, and indifference. And this is how, little by little, divisions, wars, injustices, and pains arise that afflict so many of my children scattered across the earth. See how many have lost the meaning of spiritual life. Many walk only seeking power, riches, and fleeting pleasures, forgetting that they were created for something much greater. They were created to love, to live in the presence of God, and to build a world where peace and brotherhood can flourish. But when man forgets this, he begins to destroy that which he should protect. How many times, my children, has heaven sent signs to call humanity back to the path of conversion? How many times have I invited you to prayer, penance, and a change of life? These calls were not made to frighten, but to awaken the souls that were asleep in sin and indifference. When I say that the signs of the Queen of humanity have manifested themselves, I want you to understand that heaven never leaves its children without guidance. God, in His infinite mercy, always sends warnings before great difficulties occur, so that souls can prepare themselves spiritually and return to the path of light. However, many of my children still live distracted by the illusions of the world. They live preoccupied only with fleeting things and forget to care for their souls, which are eternal. And so I tell you with a mother's love, awaken while there is still time. Do not wait for difficulties to become greater before turning your hearts to God. My children, look around you and see how many hearts are wounded, how many families are divided, how many people live in sadness and loneliness. The world needs souls that bring hope, that bring faith, that bring light where there is darkness. Each of you has been called to be a small flame in this world. Even if you seem small or your faith is simple, do not underestimate the value of a heart that trusts in God. A faithful soul can transform environments, can bring peace where there is conflict, and can open paths where there seem to be no way out. Therefore, my children, strengthen your spiritual life. Do not let the noise of the world distance you from the presence of God. Reserve moments of silence in your hearts. Seek to live with humility. Practice love and forgiveness among yourselves. I also ask you to take care of your families. The enemy tries to destroy homes because he knows that the family is one of the greatest forces that God has given to humanity. When a home lives in unity, prayer, and love, it becomes a refuge against the storms of the world. Protect your homes with faith, respect, and the presence of God in your daily lives. Do not allow pride, arguments, and divisions to enter your hearts. Instead, always seek to reconcile, forgive, and support one another. My children, do not think that difficult times mean that God has abandoned humanity. On the contrary, it is often in times of trial that God calls his children with even greater force to return to his love. Humanity is going through a time of great spiritual struggle. Many hearts are confused, many have lost their way, and many walk without knowing where they are going. But those who heed the call of heaven find a safe path even amidst the storms. I am with you, my children. I walk alongside those who seek to live in truth and faith. I intercede for each of you before God and present to the Father every prayer, every tear, and every sincere effort of conversion. Do not be afraid of the future. The world may face difficulties, but God's light will never be extinguished. Those who remain steadfast in faith and love will always find protection and guidance. Continue walking with confidence. Even when you do not understand all the events of the world, remember that God guides the history of humanity with infinite wisdom. Nothing is outside his gaze, and every step taken towards good has eternal value. Remain vigilant, but also full of hope. God's love remains stronger than all war, stronger than all darkness, and those who remain united to him will never be alone. And so, my children, remain firm, confident, and persevering. I embrace you with my motherly love and continue to guide each of you closer to the heart of God, where true peace exists that the world can never take away. My beloved children, listen attentively to the call of your mother, for I speak to you with love and also with the deep desire to protect each of you in these times when so many spiritual dangers try to approach the hearts and homes of families. The world has become a place where many souls walk distracted, forgetting to seek the protection that comes from heaven, and therefore often allow restlessness, discord, and shadows to find space within their own homes. Therefore I tell you, my children, pray with faith and confidence. When a child of God engages in sincere prayer, he opens a door for divine grace to act in his life and also within his home. Prayer is not merely words spoken with the lips, but a profound encounter of the heart with God, a moment in which the soul finds strength, protection, and light. I also urge you to confidently invoke the protection of the valiant Archangel, Saint Michael the Archangel, he who from the beginning fought the forces of evil and remains vigilant to defend the children of God. He is a powerful defender against the snares of the enemy and a guardian of those who seek to live in truth and faith. When you ask for the protection of Saint Michael the Archangel, you do not do so in vain, my children. He hears the cry of souls who ask for help and stands as a shield before those who wish to remain firm on the path of God. Many do not realize it, but great spiritual battles are taking place around you, and that is why heaven invites you to remain vigilant. Protect your homes, my children. May your homes not only be places of rest for the body, but also refuges for the soul. Within your home there must be peace, respect, forgiveness, and love among all. When a home lives in the presence of God, it becomes like a spiritual fortress that no evil force can easily penetrate. Invoke Saint Michael the Archangel so that he may be at the doors of your homes, so that he may watch over every corner of your home and ward off all presence of evil, division, and darkness. I ask that he place his sword of light before your families, preventing any evil, visible or invisible, from finding space to enter. My children, evil often tries to infiltrate silently, through fights, harsh words, lack of forgiveness, and estrangement from God. Therefore, I tell you that spiritual protection begins within your own heart. When you live in God's grace, when you seek to love and forgive, your soul is strengthened, and evil finds less space to act. May no chaos invade your home, my children. May no shadow have power over those who live in faith. Trust in the protection that God grants to those who seek him sincerely, and always remember that heaven does not abandon those who cry out for help. I, your mother, walk with you and intercede for every family. I present to the Father every home that seeks to live in peace, every heart that struggles to remain faithful, and every soul that asks for protection against evil. And when you invoke Saint Michael the Archangel with true faith, heaven moves in favor of your protection. Remain steadfast, my children. Guard your homes in faith, protect your families with prayer, and live in the confidence that God watches over every step of those who remain in His love. Thus, your homes will be places of light in a world often marked by confusion, and no force of darkness can prevail where the presence of God is welcomed with sincerity. Therefore, I tell you again with a mother's love, pray, my children. Do not let the silence of prayer disappear from your homes. When a family prays, when a heart turns to God with sincerity, a light begins to shine in that place. This light is not merely symbolic. It is spiritual, and where this light exists, evil finds it difficult to remain. Invoke with confidence the protection of Saint Michael the Archangel, the great defender of God's people. He was chosen by the Lord to fight against the forces of darkness and to protect those who seek to live in truth. Many of my children forget to ask for your help, but when they do so with sincere faith, they find powerful assistance in the spiritual battle that takes place around every soul. My children, there are struggles unseen by human eyes. There are battles that take place in the silence of the spiritual world, and often they influence the peace within your homes, within your thoughts, and within your hearts. That is why heaven calls you to remain vigilant and seek protection. When you ask for the intercession of Saint Michael the Archangel, he stands as a guardian before your doors. He watches over your homes, protects your families, and combats that which tries to bring division, sadness, and disorder into your home. Ask that he be present in your home every day, guarding each person who lives there. I ask you, my children, not to allow chaos to enter your homes. Often evil does not enter through great events, but through small breaches that arise when hearts turn away from God. A harsh word, a lack of forgiveness, a prolonged argument, all these things can open doors for peace to disappear. Therefore, strengthen your homes with love, patience, and understanding. May each house be a place where people feel welcomed, where there is respect between parents and children, between siblings, and between all who live there. A home where true love exists becomes a spiritual fortress. Invoke Saint Michael the Archangel so that he may place his sword of light before your homes, preventing any evil from approaching. Ask him to ward off all negative influence, all spirits of discord, all disturbances that try to steal the peace of your families. But remember also, my children, that spiritual protection depends not only on the request you make, but also on the way you live. When you live with faith, when you seek to do good, when you choose the path of truth and justice, you are strengthening a spiritual wall around your lives. There are many homes in the world that live immersed in unrest because they have forgotten to invite God into their homes. Many are only concerned with material things and neglect what is most precious: the life of the soul and the presence of God in the family. Therefore, I tell you again, invite God to dwell in your home. May he be present in your conversations, in your decisions, and in your moments of silence. When God dwells in a house, that house becomes a place of blessing. My children, do not be afraid. Even if the world seems full of difficulties, even if many news items bring unrest to hearts, remember that heaven remains vigilant. God does not abandon his children and always sends help to those who seek him sincerely. I, your mother, am beside every family that seeks to live in faith. I intercede before God for every home that asks for protection, for every heart that may you remain faithful, and for every person who strives to maintain peace within their home. And when you invoke with faith the protection of Saint Michael the Archangel, he comes to the aid of those who trust in the power of God. He combats the forces that try to destroy the peace of families and strengthens those who wish to live in the light. May your homes be protected, my children. May no force of darkness find space where true faith exists. May no confusion destroy what God wishes to build within your families. Remain united, remain in prayer, and remain firm in the confidence that heaven walks with you. Thus, your homes will become places of peace, havens of hope, and living lights in the midst of a world that often walks in darkness. And I will continue, as a loving mother, covering each of you with my care and presenting your families to the merciful heart of God.